kids, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, which a lot of you are, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I make videos. I obviously haven't posted a video in like 3 months. I really have no excuse except life happened. I do realize, however, that it's not okay just because I promised you guys content once a week, and as it stands, I pretty much just like post consistently for a few weeks and then nothing for like months. And I'm gonna be real, I look back at some of my old videos and like I can tell when I have run out of pre-planned ideas and have to come up with something on the fly. Like I can tell. Or I backlog myself with like consuming a bunch of content and then figure, okay, I've just consumed all this content, now I'll make videos for it. But I've scripted very, very few of my videos, like less than a handful. So it ends up being like all disorganized and probably a little repetitive. It's just the quality is not, it's not great. It could be better. So all of this to say, from now on, when I upload, I want it to be quality content. I want it to be something, you know, I want to give you guys good quality videos to watch, especially because despite my inconsistent posting schedule, you guys have still stuck with me. And I now know that in order for me to be consistent, just in the sense of posting high quality content, I have to post inconsistently, as it were. And in order for me to not get so burnt out so frequently or so quickly is for me to post infrequently. So here's what I want to say. I am promising right now to always be working on a video, but I won't be posting once a week. Instead, I'll be uploading new videos when I finish them. You guys may have noticed that I like to break up my reviews and discussion videos with other videos on other topics, and a lot of those topics require research and organization. Gonna have to start scripting a hell of a lot more. So I want to be able to do those videos and do them right, and you know, without the pressures of like, oh, I have to hurry the fuck up because it's, you know, Monday and I still have to film and then edit this whole thing. And I want to start scripting my videos, all of them. I know. You guys, I scripted this video and I figured out how to do it without sounding like a fucking cyborg. To my knowledge, Jenna Moreci is the only cyborg on AuthorTube. I'm not sure if that extends to YouTube at large, but I am willing to guess maybe. Anyway, now that is out of the way, let's get into today's video. So I got a request from an indie author on Instagram saying that he had seen my review for A Discovery of Witches and was offering me a free e-copy of his own YA book, and asked if I would possibly like to review it on my channel. I'm gonna be real, I was super flattered and excited because this is the first author who's ever contacted me ever for a review. So I literally was like, oh, I'm a for real booktuber now. So of course I said yes. I read the book, finished it last night. Let's get into this review. So Lament of Purgatory is book 1 of a duology in the Ashwood Chronicles. It is written by Brandon Chandler. Brandon is obviously an indie author. He's an army vet. I think he's a healthcare worker. Anyway, when Dominic intentionally opens the gates of Purgatory, he and his friends are sucked inside and they basically have to find their way home. But the warden of Purgatory, Giovanni, is all like, oh, you know, there's high school drama, there's magic, there's action, there's demons. Oh my god, that was super close. I have mixed emotions about this book, I'm gonna be real. On one hand, I did enjoy the story itself. And I liked several moments throughout, but once they got to Purgatory, for me, it was a struggle. The first 10 chapters I literally devoured. Like, I started reading it and I was like, okay, I'll read a couple chapters and then, you know, I'll pick it up back up tomorrow. Girl, I read like, I don't know what that even is. But I read like 10 chapters in one day and I figured, oh, okay, I'm probably gonna finish this book tomorrow, bro. This is awesome. Pero no, mijita. I started reading the next day thinking I was gonna finish the book, pero it just got so convoluted, not very much showing, a whole lot of telling. Still, I finished it. So let's break this down a little bit. He said he wanted an in-depth review, so here it comes. So the main characters were pretty well thought out, and they were interesting to a certain point. Ethan is my fave. Ethan is a cupcake who is to be protected at all costs. Dominic is the emo, I'm pissed off at the world, so don't fuck with me kid. He literally gets pissed at like everything and everyone. It was a little much sometimes. And I'm gonna be real, I know that he and his brother Hayden are supposed to be like badasses or whatever, but they were super casual about death. Like, way too casual. For kids their age, they're like 14, 15 years old. Really? Hayden is learning how to control his magic, and I wish we had gotten to see just a bit more of his struggle with this. Not so much like him learning how to use it, but more like the mental struggle, you know, like mentally struggling with the fact that his brother, Dominic, and Brianna, who is, for all intents and purposes, his sister, his, like, adopted sister, both have better control over their magic than he does. And just, like, kind of his feelings on that. That would have been nice. Brianna was an interesting character. But again, we didn't find out that she was a witch until well into the story. I feel like we had to kind of just let go of our desire to, you know where their magic came from. I still don't know where Hayden well, it came from their dad, but like, that doesn't answer anything, bro. I feel like Brianna being a witch, it was something that we could have found out before we got to Purgatory. We found out in Purgatory, but oh, whatever. Corey was there. Yeah, she was there. I didn't dislike her, but the one thing that I really wish the author had done differently was the POV. The story is told in third person, omniscient, and as a result, it was really difficult for me to connect to these kids as much as I would have liked. I wasn't necessarily like apathetic to them either. Like I said, there were several moments throughout the story that I very much enjoyed, but I would have liked to have been a lot closer to our main cast. Do you know what I mean? I would have liked to have seen like more emotion, more introspection with our five mains. There were a ton of moments where he, could have gone into real depth and like shown, maybe a little bit of growth or a change in a character, and he just didn't. And I don't know. I wanted to be closer to them, especially because the stakes were so high. They were trying, they were going through this purgatory trying to get home, and like, well, if they stay here too long, or if they, whatever, then they're like, literally, they're never gonna go home again. And then we wouldn't have book 2. Like, there's a point in the novel where there's a character death, and I'm not gonna say who it is because, like, spoilers. But I feel like we were supposed to be affected by his death, and I just wasn't. I was like, oh, okay. So the dialogue. There are some lines of dialogue that sound a little bit unnatural, but there are also a lot of lines of dialogue that are literal gold. Like, I laughed out loud with some of them. Among my favorite is, I'm allergic to responsibility. That's great. Which I believe is a Dominic line. I freaking love it. The plot is unclear. We're told in the synopsis that these kids go into purgatory, but we don't go into purgatory until like halfway through the book. Like a little past halfway. I don't even know. Like chapter 11 or 12, I'm pretty sure. I feel like there were too many B plots going on at one time. And because of the POV, it really kept me from investing emotionally in really any of them. I won't lie though, the story itself as a concept is interesting. I am also of the opinion that it took entirely too long for them to get to purgatory. That's just my opinion. So the pacing sometimes was a bit slow. Some scenes I think could have been cut out, or the character or plot information that we got within the, any given scene. I feel like it could have been trickled a little bit more, instead of being presented in like sort of bite-sized chunked info dumps. But overall, I think the pacing was actually fine. If not for the other issues that I've already mentioned, it was probably fine. The magic system for me is kind of all over the place. I have a feeling that book 2 is probably going to get into the magic system a lot more and like clarify a lot about it, because it's different magic for not each kid, but it's a different magic type of magic for, like, say Hayden and Dominic than it is for Brianna, which I really love that he did that. Like, I love that he added that little detail that their magic is not the same. But I wish he had gone a little more into the magic system, at least the magic that Hayden and Dominic are using, because their magic, I would say, is the primary magic of book 1. And definitely the magic system within Purgatory. Because I don't even know if we're going to go back to Purgatory. I would imagine we are. I would imagine that we are, just because there are a few characters that we meet in Purgatory that I don't know, their last scene seemed a little cliffhanger-y, so we'll see. So then the world building. I wish that there had been a little bit more detail about the town that they lived in, especially Ashwood Manor. Like, if I'm not mistaken, he described Ashwood Manor a little bit. Like, he described the outside, and I think he described one of the rooms, but he didn't really, like, I don't know, it wasn't, for me, he didn't paint a well enough picture with Ashwood Manor. I have a feeling that it's not necessarily that important. It's just where our mains live, and it's kind of a staple in the town. So I think in terms of that's why the author included some description of Ashwood Manor. But I would have really loved to have seen a description of Ashwood Manor. Purgatory was a bit confused for me. Some of the elements, again, for me, didn't necessarily make sense, but overall not bad world building. You can tell he put a lot of thought into what this world looks like, and he tried to convey that the best he could, and I think he did a pretty good job. Sometimes it was difficult for me to imagine what the hell was going on, but most times I could imagine what something looked like or what a town looked like. Personally, I think maybe he switched locations a bit too often. It was a little overwhelming. I actually felt the same about the characters. There were quite a few side characters or characters that were in like one scene or two scenes that, like, they were inconsequential to the plot. They were literally just there to, like, get our mains from point A to point B. So now I want to talk a little bit about the writing. The author, for a debut, has a strong voice, I think. Like I said, if not for the technical issues, I wouldn't have guessed that this was their debut. There are some golden gooses throughout. He does use a lot of similes. Like, a lot. Like, too many, in my opinion. Sometimes the wrong word was used, though that didn't happen quite as often as the similes. Those similes kept popping up in the story like a song that wouldn't get out of your head. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Things that I liked. There's a love triangle, sort of. I actually think it's more of like a rectangle. No, I don't know, because it like changed at the end. I could be reading into shit. Don't like quote me on that. The dynamics, though, the dynamics between our mains, our kids, they were believable. These kids really did seem like family. I especially thought that the relationship between the Ashwood boys and Brianna and Corey and Ethan it was written well. It was believable. The trajectory and the development of their friendship, both as a group and then as individuals, for me was very believable, so I appreciated that. The drama! Listen, I am almost 35 years old, but I love me some high school drama. And I also love that it was believable drama. Mostly, anyway. And that the author gave the kids different skill levels with respect to their magic. Like even Dominic and Brianna, they pretty much both had a good handle on their magic, but they were still not at the same level. Like Brianna, I would say, was a little more knowledgeable with her own magic and more experienced with her own magic. Things I didn't like. The battle scenes for me For me, it was a mixed bag. Some of them were super awesome. The others were super confusing. One thing that literally irked me to no end. There was a fucking dragon in the book, which I love dragon with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns. And the dragon went head to head with a demon. Like a whole ass... I don't know what the fuck I just did, but it went head to head with a demon and we didn't get to see the battle scene. So yeah, parts of it were, you know, difficult to read because of the technical issues, blah, blah, blah. But overall, I enjoyed the read. And also, this is his debut. I have no doubt in my mind that with each book that Brandon puts out, it's just going to get better and better and better and better. Because he does know how to tell a story, and he clearly does have a talent for creating characters that are interesting and engaging. I'll be real, despite what I said I didn't enjoy about this book, I'm definitely interested in reading book 2 because I did enjoy the story. I did enjoy the characters. I want to know more about them. I want to know more about Hayden and Dominic's dad. I want to know a little bit more about Brianna's mom. What the fuck is going on with Corey, bro? And does she know? Is it her mom or her dad? I don't know. But yeah, I would definitely be interested in reading book 2. I mean, if only to see if there are some more scenes with the dragon. And that's all I got for you today, kids. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Those of you that are new, hi, how are you? I mean, binge my videos if you want. If not, just wait until I upload again. I promise I'm gonna be better about it. And well, I already said all that. Go down in the description box, check out Brandon's book, check out his Insta, check him out on Twitter, follow him. He's super nice, and I did enjoy this book. It's a YA, so if you like YA, if you like fantasy, if you enjoyed the content today, hit that like button. It's like wherever, it's someplace on the screen. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Bro, the subscribe button is literally right there. I'd also love to hear from you guys. What have you been doing lately? What have you been reading lately? I just finished reading the prologue to The Girl in 6E, and I freaking loved it. Holy shit. I'm pretty sure that's the next one I'm gonna read. I also bought some new books because I'm trash. Apart from that, I already have a couple of other scripts that I've been drafting, and girl, that's gonna be dope. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you to the moon and back, and I will see you next time.